Good morning and welcome to the Wallet to Wealth Female Entrepreneur Series. I'm Whitney Hammond, and in support of Halton Women's Place, From Wallet to Wealth is a brand that I created to speak to help mentor, educate, and inspire women to leading more empowered lives. Mark your calendars for November the 12th. This is our big event. It's the dinner speaker event that is, it will be virtual this year. It's a lot of planning going virtual, but it will be a heck of a lot of fun. So we keep adding more and more to it all the time. So we have a lot of prizes. We'll be doing a lot of draws. So there will be a lot of winners. And so this year we're having 5 empowering female speakers. They're super women who will stand up and tell us how they found advantage in their adversity. And we are doing this to help women win and to also raise $30,000 for Halton Women's Place. We're already just past the 2/3 mark. So I think we're at about $23,000. And so we want to actually knock it out of the park. I may not have set that goal high enough, but I can sure tell you when I first set it, I thought that 30,000 was a crazy number. So thank you to all the women who have jumped in, purchased tickets, made donations. We do have an auction page. There's some awesome items for auction right now, and we'd love to see you all at the event. So that is November the 12th in the evening. And if you check out the page, you'll see exactly who the speakers are. But today, it's not about that. It's about the guests that I have here. So I am thrilled to introduce a very creative lady who owns White Lightning Communications and has recently launched United Color of Designs magazine. With 30 years of design experience, she has taken her graphic design and branding business to the next level, to an entirely new level. And so please help us welcome Amy Barasso. Amy, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Whitney. This is so exciting.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because I saw your magazine come up, and this is the power of social media, because I did see your magazine came up, so I was thought, oh, well, what's that, And then I saw Elvira was involved with you, because she's also writing a column in your magazine, and I started to see the awesome pictures, and your creative graphic design is amazing. And so once I got to talk to you, to see, like, my goodness, you have 3 decades of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 decades. I just realized that as I was creating this magazine, like, wow, that is a long time to be doing something. So I best be good at it.
Yeah, you must. I mean, you don't stay in something for 30 years if it's not your wheelhouse, that's for sure. So just wanted to ask you a few questions. So recently we have been talking about intergenerational messages and how these have created limiting beliefs in our life, or how they may have confused us. Can you share with us from your experience, your parents' beliefs that would have transpired over to you?
Oh, yes, I can. And it's kind of cool. In retrospect, I just want to start by saying that I really believe that my parents and I chose one another. Before we got here, we landed on this planet, and we chose one another so that we could push each other to do what we need to do. And so when you're asking about intergenerational belief implanting, my mother is a federal government worker. She loved the government. She was in it. It was solid. She was there for 30 years. She's retired now. But, she always instilled in me, like, you need the steadiness of the full-time job, and who's going to take care of you when you're older. So you need the pension, and you should just find something and stick with it. And my dad too, in the beginning, like through till my, I think, early teens, he was a salesperson for Kimberly-Clark. So we never went without toilet paper, which would have been good at this point. But he was a salesman, and everything just chugged along nicely. And then all of a sudden he decided, I think I need something more. And he wanted to venture into being an entrepreneur. And he had a newspaper and a radio station and a ad agency. And all of these things were really exciting to me. So my first job was at his newspaper. And this caused some stress in our family because when you're an entrepreneur, your income is never stable. And so, yes, my mom had that stable job, but now I think she was kind of feeling like, oh, the pressure's all on me now, because if something goes sideways with him, we're kind of screwed. So that teeter-totter that I had growing up, I started my career in legal publishing, and I was there for 18 years. And my mom made a comment to me one time. She's like, see, I told you, lifer's good. And when she said that, I kind of felt like I was like kicked in the chest. I was like, what? Lifer? Like, I don't want to be a lifer. That's not me. I'm a rebel, man. I don't want to be some person who stays in one spot all my life. But I had now a family, and I had a husband to add to this who was a contract worker. And so again, I was put in this place where, oh, if he loses the contract, we're screwed. So I better stay at this job, right? And then the universe said, I'm sorry, Amy, but this is not for you. So we're going to sell this awesome company that you're so comfy in, and we're going to rock your world a little bit and see what happens. And so that's what happened. I was sort of bumped into a new job in the new company that wasn't really my wheelhouse. And I lasted about 6 months, and they were gracious enough to accept my resignation and, give me and grandfather over my benefits and all that stuff. So that was fantastic. I spent a year working with my husband, which in retrospect was probably not the best idea because we wound up getting separated in that. But, it was just a period of time where I got to where our fears were tested, and we didn't make it through that point. So I went and found a job and worked with a wonderful woman who helped me understand running my own business. She was like this really passionate, strong woman who had her own business and did really well. And so I watched her and I listened to her, and I was there for about 4 years. And then she decided, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so I found myself going, okay, let's try this entrepreneur thing. But at the same time, my mom's little voice is in my head going, I don't know if that's a good idea. And when are you going to find another job, Amy? And when are you going to start looking? And my dad's on the other shoulder going, this is awesome. You're going to do great. You're so much bigger than this, and you can do whatever you want. So I've done entrepreneur for about 5 years, and it is not in my guts. It's been, a difficult journey going from like steady paycheck to what the hell am I going to do now?
Yeah. And it's creativity. So you came from conflict, the two conflicting messages, and now you're in this, you're free to do all your creativity. And this magazine idea that you have is just incredible. It's fabulous because you're very talented in what you do in your design work. I mean, I've seen your work, and I didn't know who the person was behind it. So so you've got all of this, but now there's this business side. And the thing is that it sounds like you have the best of both worlds, really, because you have the stable voice, mom saying, you got to be stable, right? And your dad's over here, follow your dreams. And I had this too, okay? And this is a fabulous combination for people to become successful, because if you don't have your mom's voice, you could be this helium balloon that we got to pull the strings.
Yes.
So you have the blend, even though it could feel like a disadvantage, can actually be an advantage, and it's brought you to now living aligned and living an authentic life. So share with us how that works for you now.
Well, I do have to say that if you find yourself, a lot of people might be finding themselves in, not with the parents that I had with those messages, but in a space right now where they might be a little more experienced or spicy, like I like to call it. You know, you got some years under your belt, and COVID may have, you know, taken a job away from you. So if you're going from corporate to entrepreneur life and giving that a shot, I do highly suggest that you get a mentor or a coach of some kind, right? Because I was navigating waters I had never been in before. And I thought, oh, no problem. I'll just get clients and people will be banging down my door. I'm good at what I do. But that was not the case. And so I actually met Elvira Hopper at an event in Mississauga and just instantly clicked with her. And so she became my cheerleader of, you know, a woman's voice saying that I can do this entrepreneur thing, in addition to my dad, in addition to having this sort of steady work ethic. And so having her on my side was honestly like imperative. She actually said to me, you know, so like, what do you want to do? And I said, I just want to be a director of joy somewhere. I just want to spread the joy. And she said, so go do it. And I went, well, Elvira, you can't look on Indeed and get a director of joy position. It doesn't exist. And she said, well, then make it exist, Amy. You are an amazing manifester. And so within 2 weeks, I actually had a director of joy position. Like that was my title. And I just saw the opportunity and ran after that breadcrumb and made it happen. And so that was my my contract. So if entrepreneur, I think contracts still fit in that space, right? So I had a year contract with a company as their director of joy. And when the contract was up, this is where Elvira's advice and the aligning with my mission happened, and COVID came in there just to say, you better not go back and find a job, Amy, because you're not supposed to do that. I was sitting on the porch in a rainstorm, and like my company name, a bolt of lightning just hit me, almost like metaphorically speaking. But I was like, oh my God, I have 30 years experience. And on a resume, because you know, when I left the contract, my mom's voice is saying, go look for a job, go look for a job. And so I started looking for a job, and all I was being hit with is, you have too much experience. You are too seasoned. You will be bored. And I was like, okay, you're right. 30 years on a resume, I have to downplay it. You know, like to get a job, you have to kind of downplay your experience so that you can get in the door and then show them your beauty or your light. But when you are the publisher of a magazine, 30 years experience sounds pretty friggin' great. And you become a mentor and a leader and an inspiration to young people. And so I thought, man, there must be other creative people that are in my same boat. They've got all this experience and they're looking to mentor young people, and they want to help people and support people and lead a community. And so that's kind of where it started. And so Elvira was the first person I called because she helped me through my mentor stage. And so she said, hell yes, I'm going to write. And then I went to my other mentor, which is the Moira Bush, who brought this color system to Canada, which I use in my business and personal. And they were both in, and I'm like, okay, there's two. And so then I opened it up, and then people just started wanting to write. They wanted to be mentors. They wanted to help creative businesses. They wanted to be featured. They wanted art to be the focus. Yeah. And so the color part of it is because of the energy of color and the psychology of color, which I've spent the last 4 years studying, and that's where that came from. So it just tied up in this beautiful bow.
That's amazing. And so so I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to ask you in a second to tell us about your business. But I just want to share from our discussions. I mean, the magazine idea is absolutely, it's just fabulous because you have a giving approach. You are coming in as a mentor. And I have to share that I would not be who I am today if it weren't for the mentors that I've had through my life. And it's amazing to give back in this fashion. And so in your magazine, you're focusing on, you have business people, you have lawyer, a money expert, a coach, astrology, intimacy, numerology. So you've got everything in this magazine, that there's something for everybody. So tell us about your business.
Ah, this is the most fun part. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So the magazine is split into 4 sections. The mentor section is creative person speaking to creative person in multiple industries. So fashion design, makeup, hair design, graphic design, artist, photographer, like anyone who's a creative. We have a culinary arts Jagger Gordon who's writing. We have Moira Bush who's writing the column on dealing with your shadows, which is like a really interesting conversation. As I said, Elvira's writing the mentor column. So the mentors are speaking directly to people coming up within that industry. Yeah. And then the second group is the business. So we have professionals who love working with creative minds, because, you know, I saw a post you did yesterday about left brain and right brain. And yeah, us right brain people need some left brain help. And
we need you. Trust me, we need you.
Yes, we need each other. It's the yin yang thing. So I wanted to bring in people that worked with creative rock stars, like that just need support in branding, in sales, in marketing, in mindset, in finances, in legal. So that is where you can look to, as a creative professional, what can I do to sort of grow within my business, or how do I grow my business, right? And then the third section is the lifestyle section. So yes, we've got astrology and intimacy and numerology and health and wellness and family. And this is sort of like, if I had to make a magazine, what would I want in it? And this is everything that I want in it. So that's the 3 main things. And then the thing that changes every issue is submissions by artists and photographers and writers. And so people will submit to me their ideas as it relates to the theme of the magazine. So what sort of makes this different than any other magazine is that we're based on color. So every issue is a different color. The first issue was black. This is about going into the void, going into your dark space, facing your shadows face on, like head on, and loving them and seeing how they can support you. Because as we know, our shadows are there to protect us. It's just when they get a little more boisterous than they should that they take over, and you kind of get paralyzed with fear. So the issue of the black issue is about how designers have stayed creative through COVID, through this dark time that we went through. And did you sit there and you know, have a conversation with yourself about what your business looks like, and where are you going to go after this? And do I have to change the way I do business? And do I have to get more creative, like, you know, more on Zoom stuff, and how we can do that. So the magazine black color was the perfect color to start with as far as rebirthing goes, because we've all just done like a 180 at this time. Yeah.
Yes.
And so issue number 2 is about copper, which is Mother Earth and being safe on this planet, and putting into action that stuff that you came up with in the dark, when you followed those little sparkles of creativity out of the darkness, and you're like, I have this great idea, now what do I do? The copper grounds us and allows us to move forward with whatever creative stuff came up in that darkness. And it's also about mentorship. So you're birthing this baby, this new thing, and you kind of need a doula to help you do that. And so mentors can be definitely supportive in that role. So the copper issue is now putting into action what we came up with in the dark.
That's amazing. That's just truly amazing. How many copies, how many are you going to publish, like 4 times a year, or?
Yes.
4 times a year.
Yeah, 4 times a year.
I just love the black, the darkness. And the thing is for people watching, it's really important to know that not everything is born in a bowl of cherries, that those dark moments that we may have in our life, to realize that that's a time to draw in. I mean, that's when songwriters write their best songs, and
Yes.
people come up with their best creativities. Life is not supposed to be Christmas every single day. So I love how you came out with the black theme. Like that's fabulous. Now, can people advertise in your magazine? Are you taking advertisements yet?
Yes, I am. The first edition was just, let's get this out, let's see what it looks like, and get the readership up, and subscriptions up, and just get people talking about it and interested in it. And the second edition is now, let's get sponsorship so that we can keep this machine moving and give it bigger wings than it actually has. So yes, I would say that people who are interested in having the creative community as a client would be, this is your people, right? And so that would be a great thing. And also, if you supply the creative community with their tools to work, so paint and art supplies and furniture stores, and anything, any business that deals with color on a daily basis, or anybody who supplies people who work with color on a daily basis, that's who I think would most benefit from being in front of this audience. Yeah. And then I also have a section called the Collaboration Station, which is creatives letting other creatives know they're open to dance, they're open to partner, they're open to collaborate on different projects. And so some people prefer to work by themselves and have clients, but other people prefer to work in collaboration. And so I just wanted to give a space for creatives and artists and people to say, look, I'm open here, give me a shout and we can talk.
This is great. It's just such a great thing. And so the magazine is online, but you're also going to have some published, so some people can subscribe if they want to have the actual hard copy, and other people can just go online if they like.
Yes, it's online at the moment. I'm working out the logistics of getting the hard copies done, like a print on demand. So that's going to be coming up for the second issue. I did have a minimal run, a special run for the first edition for the contributors, and if they wanted some extra copies. So you will see me like all excited opening a box of magazines, but they're limited edition at this point. So the next
Can
one,
any of us order one if we want to? Like, there'll be some people watching that might say, like, I'd like to buy one.
yeah,
Do you have enough that we could?
on demand. I'm going to do print on demand. So as soon as I get that that solid, I'm working on that right now, then I can put the link out and then people can order the version.
Perfect, because I'm going to be one of those people, and I probably will have many other people that would like to order that too. Some people love to read online, and it's fabulous, and they like to save copies online. And then some people like to have copies in their, I have a boardroom in my office where clients wait, my cottage, my house, stuff like that. So I really like this. So with your creative mind, what's next? Tell us what's next. What's on the horizon? What's in your dream bucket?
This magazine has opened up, like my mind is just exploding with ideas. So at the same time the magazine opened up, I interviewed all the columnists. So we have a podcast as well, which is on Apple and Spotify. So you can just search United Colors of Design, and I'm dropping interviews with all the columnists. So that's cool. In addition, we did it like this on Zoom. So the video portion is on the YouTube channel. I think I see, once we can do live events again, I would like to bring this community together in person and, you know, somehow honor artists in a way where maybe it's a giant gallery showing and we bring in people through the colors, like we divide it all up into colors, or I don't know, just in-person events, and you know, co-working together, and somehow doing that virtually is another thing that I'm working on. And so it's just, I'm trying to actually suppress some of it so that I can focus on what needs to get done right now. And then I've got my list of stuff that's going to happen in the future. But if
remember the helium balloon?
yes. So my mom is over here going, Amy, just, you know, focus on one thing at a time. So that's good.
But that's the thing. That's the next thing, is that you're collaborating, and you're going to find that person. You know, for example, if you use you and I as an example, you've got all the creativity. You're the type of person that I would hire and say, okay, you go do all the creative stuff, because I've got the left brain, and I'm really good at business strategy, making money, lining stuff up. I mean, I can do that for the next 10 of my lives with my eyes closed. I don't even have to think about it. And you can do all the creative stuff without having to think about it either. So just to let you know, is that for as creative as you are in your mind with all the ideas, somebody whose left brain has just as many ideas too, where we almost need the, you know, helium balloon, but we, you know, what we do is we build that team around us.
Yes.
And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. And because you're, you know, you're public and you're out there, people will connect with you and say, like, that's it, I want to work with Amy, and you know, you'll pick your people that are the right people to bring this out. And I think it's just, it's great what you're doing.
Well, I think there are a few missing holes in the magazine, which I would really like to fill. And perhaps there are people in your group here that have the experience that I'm looking for.
Okay.
I do need someone to talk about expansion and growth, because our community is very, like, I do what I do. I can't farm out what I do because I do it. So same with a painter, same with an interior designer, same with anyone who's creative minded, and they are their product, right? So I need somebody to write an article about growth and how to do it. Like, how do you go from just you to growing a business and hiring people, and what does that look like, and what are the baby steps to get there? And I'm also looking for individual channel, social media channel experts. So a YouTube expert on how to use that to your advantage, an Instagram expert, a Facebook expert, all of that stuff. And not that I think that every issue needs to have an Instagram or a YouTube person in it, but I do want the voice of one of those in every issue so that we can go, oh, okay. Because I focus mostly on Facebook. So the other channels that I have are just sort of floating and not working for me. And I think a lot of people do that. They have their social channel of choice, and then the other ones really kind of aren't being utilized properly. So I'd like to have the voice of those kinds of people as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? So this point that you just brought up, this is a huge point. So for me, I only became active on social media about 18 months ago. And so this is what I see. I see a lot of people trying to run their business online, but they don't have these steps of expansion and growth, and how do I do this, and how do I build a business, and when do I hire people, and systems and staffing and all of this stuff that I've been doing for decades. So that's one point, and I've written this down. And the other point is the social media expert, because you see people that just hit the ball right out of the park with social media. I mean, I'm pretty big on social media, and I'm here to tell you it works. It's very, very powerful. But somebody isn't telling us the baby steps and how to do it. And there's a lot of people that will take your money. Okay, they will come and they will take your money, and they'll tell you that they're going to do all sorts of stuff. And the thing is so if you're having this in your magazine talking about this, I mean, I think this is really hot, because people want to be in the know of how to do this. That's one fold of what you've talked about. But on the other side, is you need somebody to run this for you, and that right person or persons will show up and say, oh yeah, I can do this for you, and I can do that for you, and let's get this growing. And because you're creative, you don't have to wear all those hats. You wear the hat that you wear, that your wheelhouse. And one of the things that I always talk to people about is your unique ability. So when I'm talking to other business owners, I say to them, go to bed at night, wake up in the morning, keep it in your head 24 hours a day. You are only to do your unique ability. Don't be trying to do stuff that you're not good at, because you're going to run yourself ragged. You're shining in one area. It's the same thing that I've told my staff over the decades, is that I only do my unique ability, and everybody else does everything else around me. If they don't do it, they don't work for me. And you've got your unique ability. You know what that is. So
I do, but Whitney, like, what is someone supposed to do when they're just starting something, right? Like, I am it. I am cook and chief bottle washer and designer and marketer and salesperson and all of these things. And I'm missing something. I'm missing a bridge to get to where this could be.
You're going to call it in. You're going to call it in, because welcome to being an entrepreneur. We do all of these tasks, and then we call it in, and the right people will show up. The first thing is that you've identified that you're ready. You're ready to have the people to show up to become that team. You've got fabulous people writing for you. You've got a great idea. You've got a great message that people want. They want to know. They need to be in the know even more today, because even when COVID goes away, we've already pivoted. So we're doing a lot more business online. Let's use Tony Robbins, for example. $9 billion a year in sales is what Tony Robbins did. And he started decades ago selling infomercials. So he figured things out. He was the leader in, how do I get my message out to millions of people? Because I can't get my message out in one lifetime, one person by one person. And it's the same as what you have. You've got a message, and how are you going to pass that message out to the millions of people that you want to hear your message? So it starts with the goal of, this is what I want, and you write it all down, and these things will show up. These people will show up, the doors will open, the avenues will come. It's just letting it come. If you didn't make that statement, and you were in a controlling position where, I'm going to do all of this by myself because no one can do it better than me, then you're not calling anybody into your universe. And right now you are. And I mean, it's kind of cool, because you and I met. And that, again, is the power of social media. I'm a busy person. How do I catch you? Like, what made me connect to you? I'm definitely not an artsy person, but I was connected to you energetically. And so here we are. So I'm really glad to have been able to have you here today to share your story. And we do have a lot of people watching right now, and there will be a lot of follow-up over the next few days, because we get a lot of people watching. So people that are in this wheelhouse, here is a ground floor opportunity with a woman who has 3 decades of success. She knows what she's doing. And here's a place for the creative people to jump in. And what I love about creativity is there's no ceiling. You can just keep coming up with such cool ideas, and you've really done it with your themes. And so I'm just really thrilled to be able to showcase you today. Is there anything that you want to say for, in closing?
I just am so happy that I've had a shift in mindset. Even again, I thought I was good, and then I realized I'm not so great. So I need to make another shift. I mean, it's just a big giant color wheel we're working through. Black through the rainbow to white of enlightenment, and then you just start again. And so it goes, the circle is kind of on an upward spiral. So I'm not starting from ground zero. I'm starting from 30 years experience. And so I'm shifting. Turning 50 hit me hard. I was a little off whack about that. But now I'm embracing it. Now I know that, you know, experience is leadership and mentorship. And I finally found this channel that I can use to support other people. And they're begging for it. Like creatives are just thirsty for someone to give them answers, and school doesn't always give it to you. So let's just band together and support this community, the arts community, with the business, with the lifestyle, with the everybody.
Yeah.
It's just a big party. So come and have fun.
Love it. It's a fabulous idea, fabulous. So, okay, well, in closing, just want to thank you again. And I know I'm one of your fans, and I can't wait to get my order my copy. And I think it's great that you're making that option of people who can go online and people who can actually become subscribers. And let's get your magazine rolling.
That would be great.
Okay, well, you know, we'll all keep in touch and keep following Amy. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Whitney. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.